Hey, good looking. I'm so glad that you came to my kitchen today to sit there and see what we all have cooking. Grab a hold of that vine, swing right on into my kitchen, and let's get cooking. Good looking. It's another canning video, so let's put them balls to the wall, and I'm going to sit there and show you how to can up your very own Cheez Whiz. That's right, you remember that cheese that we were able to put on crackers and stuff. Well, you can make it on the old homestead yourself, and it is so easy to do, and I thought I needed to share this recipe with all of you. So without further ado, let's go on and get cooking. Good looking. Hey there, good looking. I'm so glad that you came to my kitchen because, gee whiz, who do you know who wants to can up some Cheez Whiz? I know I do. So we're going to jump right into the recipe, and I want you to follow along with me so you can can up some of your very own Cheez Whiz. So let's quick go through the list of ingredients. You're going to be needing a 1 pound box of processed cheese, or I'm going to sit there and use half of this for the Cheez Whiz, and then I have a use for the other half of the box. So take that in note. I'm only going to be using half of this Velvetta Cheese, or what we all like to call the liquid gold. And we're going to sit there and use half of the box. Then we're going to be needing 1 can of evaporated milk. You're going to be needing 4 tablespoons of butter or margarine. You choose whatever you want to use, but I'm using butter. You're going to be needing 1 teaspoon of the dried mustard. And we're going to sit there and go ahead and get started on with the show. Oh yeah, you're going to be needing a little tad bit of the hot sauce. I went ahead, I cut my Velvetta cheese in half. Now I'm going to go ahead, open up this half, and we're just going to sit there roughly, keep it all up. I have 4 tablespoons of butter. We're going to unwrap it. We're going to add it to our saucepan. And we'll be right back as soon as I'm all done cubing up my Velvetta cheese. I opened up our can of milk. I'm going to add that all to my saucepan. I went ahead. I cut up the 4 tablespoons of butter. Let's go ahead and add that. I cut up the 1 pound of Velvetta cheese. So carefully add that. Try not to make a mess. That off to the side. Now we're gonna sit there and add a dash or 2 of our hot sauce. We're gonna add 1 teaspoon of the dried mustard. Now I'm gonna go take this over to the stove over medium low, and we're gonna sit there, melt all the cheese, and bring this up to a simmer. Okay, let me grab that cheese sauce off the stove. Now, I don't know if I ever mentioned it before it went over to the stove. You wanted to keep stirring it, so none of the cheese scorches on the bottom of the pan, and you're just melting the cheese until it's all this liquid gold, just as such. And you do not want to bring this up to a boil. We're just simmering it to melt the cheese. So we have all the cheese and everything all melted. Now, go ahead, grab yourself out a spoon, because this is the only time you're going to be able to taste it to see maybe if you need to add a little bit more salt or something. So I'm just going to dip it right on in. I'm going to give it a taste test. Oh yeah, that's good. That's really good. But I'm just going to add a pinch of salt. Stir the salt all in and make sure that we stir it up good. Now, I'm canning my Cheez Whiz into half-pints. You can can yours into 4 pints if you wanted to. Now, I don't need that much Cheez Whiz to spread on crackers, because it's just my husband and myself. So we're trying to keep everything in a little bit of moderation, and keeping that in mind, that's why I'm choosing to put mine in the half pints. And besides that, at holiday time, if I need to grab more from my pantry shelves, it's there, ready for the grabbing. And I'm so sorry if the camera shook them last few times. Now I'm just gonna set my debubbler off to the side, bring my canning jar over. I'm gonna set the spatula off to the side. I have my canning ladle. Now, you're gonna want to sit there and give it 1 inch headspace. Basically what you're doing, this very bottom rung, that's what you're pouring all your liquid gold right into. So keep that in mind, 1 inch headspace. I can't wait for you all to sit there and try this. You're gonna be so blown away that you can make your own Cheez Whiz. Remember, 1 inch headspace. Okay, we are right there. Now, I'm just gonna move this off to another canning jar. Move this one off to the side. Now, seeing it's a liquid, we really don't have to go in with your debubbler. But if it makes you feel better, go ahead and debubble. It's your kitchen, you go by your rules. My kitchen, I'm not gonna debubble it because it's liquid. But I have my paper toweling, and I don't know if I showed you, I have some vinegar I put into a little dipping container. I dipped my paper toweling in, and now I'm gonna go run it all across the top, and at the same time as I'm running the paper toweling that's dipped in vinegar along the top, I'm also checking in to see if there's any cracks, nicks, or chips in the rim of my canning jar. Now I'm gonna grab a canning lid. We're gonna put our canning lid on. We're gonna grab our canning ring. We're gonna put our canning ring on and just finger tighten. Now, before I go any further, I want to give a shout out to Mrs. Wolfie, or what most of us out here know her as, Bev. She's from our half-acre homestead. Now, she's the one who taught me how to recan these glorious number 10 cans of cheese. From what she taught me with this number 10 can of cheese and how to recan it, she opened up a big world to me. And from there, you can see how far I have come from just recanning the nacho cheese, which I love to redo. I love to recan the nacho cheese. I have several videos up of recanning it, or some other videos of what you can use this nacho cheese on for your recanning. And one of them happens to be the macaroni and cheese. So I'm going to finish filling up my jars and we'll be back. And by the way, thank you, Mrs. Wolfie. We love you, Bev. Now, I'm going to take these over to the hot water bath canner, and we're going to put these babies back down. We're going to bring the hot water bath canner back up to a boil, and then as soon as it's at a boiling point, that's when we're going to start our timing process of 30 minutes. And then after that, we're just going to sit there and leave these bad boys sit inside the water bath canner maybe 5 to 10 minutes before we go ahead and we remove them. And then we're just going to sit there, let them be undisturbed, sitting on our countertops for 24 hours. Come back, take the rings off, give the jars a good washing, and be sure to label them. Or if you're like me, I like to label them before they go into the pressure canners. That way, all I have to do is just take them out. They're already labeled. Wash up the jars, and off to the pantry shelves they go. Now, this is going to help me a lot come the holiday time, or anytime I have unexpected guests and I want to sit there and serve them a little bit of something. I can go and reach on my pantry shelf. I can grab up one of these little jars of Cheez Whiz, grab a box or two of crackers, bring them out and serve them up to my guest. Now, if you liked what you saw here today, please give me a big old thumbs up. Every thumbs up helps my channel. And please hit that subscribe button, tap that little bell. That way you'll always be notified every time I do put out a new video. And as always, here's to happy canning, but better yet, happy eatins'. Y'all come back now. You hear?